Hey y'all, this is Taylor Ursula of That's So Pisces, and we have our first quarter moon in Leo to take a look at today. So let's get into it. Now, if you checked out my Taurus season preview video, we talked a little bit about how this season begins the first of many in which we will have the new moon at the end of the season rather than at the beginning the way we have been. This means this first quarter moon is coming on the heels of the Aries eclipse, and it's not following the Taurus new moon the way that we have been having these cycles unfold for the past several months. So we are starting with a clean slate at this Leo first quarter moon and just getting a sense of what this season is showing us in a new way, since we don't have the typical new moon preceding this moon to show us what's starting. I mentioned in that video that this week and this first quarter moon coincides with the Mars Chiron square that we've been building up to. We felt a little bit of this flavor building up with the eclipse. We could tell that there was something really being brought to the surface with both the moon and the sun squaring Pluto in the wake of that eclipse. We may find that those revelations from last week are making their way towards some broader confrontation. Now, Mars rules Tuesday. Tuesday is Mars Day. And since this is Mars as the personal planet coming into square Chiron, it may be that Tuesday was really the day where you saw a bulk of the conflict coming to the surface. This ultimate square may lead us to figure out where we put these feelings, what we do to begin processing what we've been confronting. Remembering that this is a first quarter moon in Leo, this means that we are feeling a bit personal about what's unfolding. We want to know what role we play individually amongst the broader narrative. And we want to be sure that we are being seen authentically in this conflict, that we are being able to express ourselves truly from a place really real within us. And that may be a big part of what the confrontation is bringing up for you. It may be that you are in conflict with someone who is not seeing the real you. You may not be seeing someone else properly. We may all be trying to push for our part of a bigger pie. That's a real theme right now. So if that's coming up for you, just know that you're not alone. You're not the only one. And this is a time where we're all being called to get deeper in tune with these aches that are calling out from within us so that we can begin to make them known and we can begin to bring some sort of reconciliation. This is also a day where the moon squares the nodes. We saw the sun meet the north node earlier this week on Monday at 4 degrees of Taurus, and that may have revealed to us some pathway that we are moving along in this journey of the nodes and what they've been bringing up for us for the past 18 months. So having the moon square the nodes while leading up to this first quarter moon also brings an air of fate into the mix. Whatever conflict or confrontation we are showing up for authentically right now is something that opens up our pathway to where we're trying to go. The square means that it's uncomfortable, and it also means that we are able to change courses at this time. So this might be something where if you don't take a chance and address something that's important to you, you may feel later that it was a missed opportunity, even if it feels crunchy right now, even if it feels really daunting and really overwhelming. It might be really important to make something known right now that has the possibility to change how you move along this pathway further down the line. So with all of that in mind, let's go ahead and pull some cards and see what's in store for us this week. Again, we'll be pulling from scratch. We have no new moon to build off of. So this is our first set of cards that we'll be pulling. And by the end of the season, we will see what the narrative has built up to in order to get a sense of what we want to plant at the new moon in Taurus at 28 degrees. All right, I'll see you in just a moment. Okay, let's get started. So for this first quarter moon, we'll be asking about energy that is accumulating now. We will look at doubts and complications that will arise or are already arising with this energy that is accumulating. We will be taking a look at gifts that we are able to work with regarding this energy that is accumulating. And lastly, we'll be asking about lessons that we are able to make sense of as we start to approach the full moon. So, once again, we're going into this without the markers set out for us by the preceding new moon because we haven't had the preceding new moon yet. It is no longer preceding. So, let's take a look at what the Leo first quarter moon is showing us. Okay. So, energy that is accumulating now. It's the Wheel of Fortune. Okay. We are putting in the work. We are recognizing when opportunity is in front of us. Now, let's remember, opportunity does not necessarily mean an opportunity to advance or an opportunity to climb a ladder. We're sort of shifting out of some typical thinking, and we're thinking more about if this is a first quarter moon and we know the full moon is coming next week, then, and we also know that we're leading up to our final full moon eclipse in Scorpio. So this gives this card a lot of information. We may be able to put in some work this week that changes what manifests at the full moon. This makes me think about how this moon is squaring the nodes and what I said before about taking a chance on something that might feel stressful or crunchy or frightening to confront, but if we don't, then we may be missing this opportunity. The wheel is what shows us what work we've put in and where we're going to land when the wheel stops spinning. Typically, this is an invitation to put in a bid to change something before it becomes final. This is an invitation to put in that work, to make a big push, to take a chance, to make things right. Doubts and complications that arise as this energy is accumulating is our connection to the big vision. If we're going to change the path that we're on, suddenly we don't know where we are. Typically, we remain on the same path because we have an idea of what the vision is, and it's gotten us this far. And it can be really frightening to step away from what we think we know or what we think we've planned for ourselves, what we think we've seen about where we're supposed to be going and how we're supposed to lead others. It may be that if I put in this effort to confront something, maybe my status as leader will change, maybe my vision will change, and that is a frightening encounter. We don't like not knowing where we're going, which is why we often don't change. Gifts that I can work with regarding this energy. The Two of Wands. This is a beautiful omen because we're afraid that if we change something or that if we put in the energy to create a shift, it means we won't have the map anymore. And guess what? We get to redraw the map. A gift right now is being able to tune back in, coming back a few steps. This is the mastery of the wand suit, and this is right at the beginning. We don't need to know what we're being motivated to find. That has already been made clear in the Ace of Wands before this, but what we want is to remember that we can redraw the blueprints at any time. So a gift this time, this month, this Leo third quarter moon, is to go back to the drawing board with excitement, to get excited about all of the new places that we could go as an antidote to this fear of all the places I thought we were going. This means we're opening up to something new, and I think this is beautiful, knowing that we're leading up to the Taurus new moon at the end of this month or at the end of this season, knowing that right now we can get really clear on some ideas about where we could go next. Lessons I'm able to make sense of at this first quarter moon as we approach the full moon. Okay, so this is the kind of main character energy that I was talking about. This is some of that Leo-ness coming through, where we want to be seen, we want to be paraded. And I think what I see here really is that we're talking about a square to the nodes at the time of Mars squaring Chiron, at the time that the moon is squaring the sun. A lot of squares, a lot of changes. We want to put into motion something that allows us to be celebrated for our authentic nature, for who we really are. And again, this conflict that's arising may be about the fact that we're not currently being seen this way. And this is our time to put in some sort of motion or energy to push for that to happen. So, lessons I'm able to make sense of, getting clear on who does see me the way that I want to be seen, or what am I able to celebrate at this time. A lesson being that if we make these pushes, if we put in this effort and we let go of our fear of relinquishing some sort of grand vision, we may actually open up space for celebration for who we are. We may actually receive the recognition and the authentic appreciation that we're actually craving in this whole process. And let's take a look at the fact that this is all wands. And the Wheel of Fortune is typically representative of Jupiter, which is a very big, very fiery, gaseous planet. So this is all about our passions, our love languages, how we connect with other people, and how we're seen for our ideas and our visions and our contributions. And so that's a really big part of being a human. We want to know that we are alive and we are here and we are making an imprint. We are making an impact. We are leaving some sort of legacy. We are moving people in some way. We are creating something that adds value to our world. And so, again, all of this showing us where some of our innate, just fire energy lives within us and needs to be acknowledged in a way that allows for all of us to be seen and celebrated for who we are naturally, not as we have been showing up. And this makes a lot of sense in the lead up to the Scorpio full moon eclipse, this final one, where we've had to confront and release attachment and possession and obsession. And if we've been acting in ways to help other people that are inauthentic to us and are therefore causing us the pain of not being seen, it's up to us to put in the change this week to make sure that we can get to this place, or at least put things into motion to make this possible. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and share this if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe. Check out my Taurus season video for the insights of the rest of the season. And we'll see you next week for this big Scorpio full moon pull. All right, y'all. Take care. Safe retrograding.